I am so wildly focused on my brand and reputation for myself. And today there was a great example of it that for me it was natural, but PJ, you probably see him on quite a few videos if you've watched a bit, he was asking me about it because at dinner, I'm at a conference that is very expensive to go to for a cruise. It is the last day here, and a few people asked if I would work for them or to take them on as a client. And PJ was there in the conversation, and I kind of just shrugged it off. I told them that I would help them as much as I can, but they're not exactly my ideal client. And one of them, he just sold his private jet that was a 12-seater, a Gulfstream. And so this is a extraordinary wealthy guy. But he's not my ideal avatar and not my ideal client. I didn't exactly shrug him off. I gave him my number, and I didn't necessarily say I would or would not work for him, but I was at least not saying I would work with him when he was very persistent. Because the reason why they really want to work with me is because every speaker here, or at least one of them, Ken, he raves about how good I'm doing, and he's showing everyone the results because he's very proud of it. And because my reputation is so high in this space, in the macro business space, helping them grow their social medias and convert to paying customers. Right now, I definitely have the best reputation and brand in that space. Not from YouTube because I got my foot in the door and I started doing it. None of them actually know I have this channel, and I don't do anything I do for them for myself. Maybe I will someday, not today, not anytime in the near future, because my goal is not to sell anything. But anyway, because I'm doing such a good job for these people, my brand, let's say, would be like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. I have a lot of friends or a lot of people that I know in the space who they are more of a Ford, where they will take on any work. Where what I want to do eventually, and this is going to be a long winded way, but there is this guy, Paddy Galloway, who he helps people grow their YouTube channels, and he's a YouTube strategist. He has a wait list of a ton of people that apply to work with him. They apply to say, hey, Patty, when you have availability, will you please take me on? Here's my channel. Here's why I think I would be a good match for you. Think about the dynamic of the relationship here. The client is competing for the business owner's business. That is the complete opposite of how most businesses work. If you think of Bugatti or Ferrari, the super, super high end luxury cars, you have to apply to get one of those cars. It's tough to actually buy one. It's not like a Ford where any person can have one. And so Ferrari has the highest margins of any car. I was looking at that with Ken today. It doesn't mean they make more money than Honda, but their reputation is a hell of a lot better. And their brand, no one says everyone says what kind of what kind of Honda they drive. No one cares what kind of Ferrari you drive. And so that is the kind of the brand reputation that you can have. And that is how mine is in this space. People say, or at least Ken does, hey, Josh is working with me because I turn down every person's work. Every single person who asks me to work with them, I turn them down. And I am being approached by any event that I go to, I'm approached by at least 6 to 10 people. This time was no different. The reason for that is because I show such great work for these people. But I always tell people a game plan what I think they could do to work with me. I always say, if you want to work with me, here's the criteria that you need to get to before I can take you on as a client. And that is a certain amount of subscribers, a certain amount of views per month, a certain size business that I'm actually looking for. And because of that, like Paddy Galloway, anytime he has an open slot, if he wants to fill it, because people are on a wait list and because the dynamic of the relationship is completely different, when people are competing for your business and you say, hey, after a few months, I finally have time for another client. If you want to be a part of this, please let me know. I have a few hours for you to decide or anything. It is going to fill up instantly, quite literally instantly. And so I will ask PJ this in the next video that we make together, because he's out partying with the other young investors right now. How much were these guys competing for my work? There was 2 people at the table who were both saying, Josh, what do I have to do to work with you? And I was basically describing it. And when you have a dynamic of a relationship like that, it is so much more favorable in terms of both the business owner and the client, because I can give them the results and they understand that, and I am very clear. Hey, I don't have the capacity to take you on right now, but if I ever do, I will let you know. And so here's where I need you to get until then, and that is exactly what they want to hear. Just the rough communication. I could go into incredible detail, but it is 2 a.m. I have a 10 a.m. flight. Don't even know if I'm gonna get there in time. Gotta wake up probably 5:36 because I have a super long drive. Got to get off this cruise as well, and the internet doesn't work. So this is tough. This is something so wildly important, and the basics of how you get there is getting really good at a skill that people really need. The main reason why people want to work with me is not, and one of them is because I've increased their revenue a ton, which is very valuable to any company, obviously. But two, I free up their time. And to the types of business owners that I work with, their time is actually more valuable. And so if you can show the results, but drastically reduce the amount of time someone has to spend on something to the smallest decimal of a degree, they are going to want to work with you no matter what. It makes you unfireable and irreplaceable. That means you can name any terms and conditions that you want, which is the exact type of bargaining position that you want to be in. That is exactly what you want as a business or an employee or whatever it is. You become irreplaceable in whatever business you were in. So, anyway, goodbye.